Got to talk the leaderboard, and I know Gang's been talking about it. It's been going on in Mav chat, and then we had the AMA today, and yeah, it's kind of an interesting topic. I wanted to get your thoughts on the topic. I know we've talked about it on stream quite a bit, but if we go back to the leaderboard here from last season, right? And let's just look at Diamond. And Gank talked about it, I think, on the stream yesterday. Gank was basically helping, the community and saying, hey, we need to fix the problem with people delegating, cards out to gain rank and then just ditching it, right? Because at the end of the season, a lot of these accounts, for Diamond or Champion, like I guess let's look at Champion first, right? So Champion, you need 500,000 collection power to get into Champion to compete for the leaderboard. And what we were seeing is at the end of season, for these top finishers, most of them didn't even have enough collection power to rank in silver, let alone Champion. And so where Gank was saying that there's issues with, as we know, whether you call them bots, whether you call them players that are manipulating the system by delegating cards, climbing, taking all those cards, delegating them to another account, climbing, and rinsing and repeating. They're basically stealing rewards and using the same cards to do it, which is problematic because to fix that, it hurts. I would call those players bad apples. I would say they're manipulating the system, and that is not good. But it hurts regular players that contribute to the economy, that rent the cards, like yourself, who rents, battles and climbs, and then may not hold the collection power for the full season necessarily, or at end of season because the rental prices are too high. So it's kind of, how do we solve the problem where we discourage bad actors, but we don't, alienate those that are playing by the rules and, may not have 500,000 collection power owned, that still want to compete, but, don't want to pay outrageous, rental fees, but also, don't want to be susceptible to the rental cancellations at end of season, which would snipe their rewards, from out from under them. So it's kind of a delicate situation, but definitely something needs to be done, because if you look here, you've got Zekio 6, Zekio 3, we talked about this, you got Zekio, the original, you've got Sub-Zero, Sub-2, and these are just the obvious ones, right? There could be a lot of these. You got Sub-1 here again. That's six out of the top 21 are people that are taking advantage of the system. And there could be others in here that aren't so obvious, that may have be the same player with different usernames that are unique usernames, what have you. Again, I don't think they're bots that are climbing necessarily. I think these are real people, because I think you have to have human skills to succeed at champion level to win and place here. But what was also mentioned, which was very interesting, and I think Gank called this out, is that there is likely an exploit going on where people are submitting the battles at the same time and drawing the same opponents and win trading. The reason why Gank said that is because you look at Bubkey or Jace, these are top players, right? These are players that have been around a long time and done well in tournaments and know the cards. Look at their max win streak, 11, 14. And these are some of the top players in the world / universe, right? And then you've got this Zekio 6 and Zekio 3. Look at their max win streak. 89, 47. No way. Sub 2 has a win streak of 93 wins in a row. They're definitely win trading. There's no way they're fighting regular players at champion level and getting 93 wins in a row. I'm sorry. I'm just going to call you out and say no way. Sub-Zero again with 40 wins in a row. And the top players have a dozen. So there's definitely something wrong there when you have a 4 to 10, 4 to I don't know what 10x factor against the top players and some of these other players. So there's definitely some shenanigans going on here, and it needs to be fixed. I think the easiest solution is it's kind of the nuclear option, right? So it would hurt renters, but one way you could look at fixing it is to say, just like end of season rewards, like I can't finish in diamond and rent out my entire deck and have 0 collection power and claim diamond end of season chest rewards. They could do the same thing for leaderboard and say you have to have the collection power for champions, so 500 CP, 500,000 CP at end of season to claim the champion leaderboard rewards. The problem is it alienates the renters, so it's not a great solution for that. But it does eliminate the the Zekios and the subs that delegate cards potentially, and just multi-account and multi-bot. It's not multi-botting. I should say they're multi-accounting the rewards here. So, anyways, I'm curious what were your thoughts on that, Baku, because I know any solution that I would be behind and want to propose to the Splinterlands dev team would be something that normal people that don't abuse the system don't get screwed. I want to make sure that people that rent and play the game the right way should still be able to get rewarded for good play. But I do think something needs to be done about this win trading and this delegation stuff. I think if they maintain the CP requirements, either the people that only delegate will only have one account that can hold a leaderboard spot, or they'll have to rent 500,000 CP per leaderboard account to get the prizes, which I think is fair. And then if they put that in place where you have to have the minimum CP to get the leaderboard rankings, and then they fix the win trading, they just make the logic for the matchmaking so that you can't battle the same person more than once every 12 hours or 8 hours or something like that. If they put those two things in, I think that would be the solution to fix the leaderboard. Yeah, the true whales having 2 million power. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing we can do about that, right? I mean, if you have 2 million power, there's lots of things you can do in the game that most people can't do. Yeah, I don't know another way around it other than collection power though, right? Because how do you know? There's no way to tell, if someone's multi-accounting, very easily without manual stuff. And Splinterlands have basically said that they don't really care about multi-accounting as long as you don't abuse the system. And they would probably say, hey, if you have 2 million power, and you want to compete for 4 spots on the leaderboard, and you want to play the game, because let's face it, to get a ranking of 4,500 or 4,400 points in champion, you have to have skill, and it takes time. It's going to take multiple hours for sure to do. So they would probably say, well, if they have 2 million power and they want to spend 20 hours grinding, then technically they could earn the rewards, right? Because they've invested in the game. So that's probably their response to that. But you know, I guess if people own the collection power or are paying to rent the collection power and putting the time in, I guess I don't care at that point if you have multiple spots on the leaderboard. At least you're putting in the effort and helping the economy of Splinterlands. But you got to get rid of the win trading, because I don't think most of these players, like Zekio and some, I mean, maybe they're good players, but without these 93 win streaks, there's no way they're hitting the leaderboard. So that win trading's got to stop. And just like the tournaments, hopefully something is done to fix it, because they're just giving rewards out to people who honestly don't deserve them. And I'd rather see them go to players that truly, you know, are playing by the rules in the spirit of the game.